A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant and controversial event, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, executed one of the largest workplace raids in American history on September 5, 2025, at a Hyundai, LG Energy Solution joint venture battery plant in Ellabe, Georgia. The facility, which is still under construction, is a crucial component of Hyundai's strategy to expand its electric vehicle, EV, production in the United States and represents the largest economic development project in Georgia's history. Federal officials confirmed that 475 individuals were arrested during the operation, with the majority being South Korean nationals. ICE characterized this operation as the most extensive single-site enforcement action ever conducted by Homeland Security Investigations, HSI. The raid was marked by dramatic scenes as video footage released by ICE depicted workers being shackled, lined up, and placed onto buses. This footage has since drawn significant criticism from South Korean officials, who labeled the public broadcast of such images as regrettable. According to ICE officials, the raid was the culmination of a months-long investigation into unauthorized employment at the plant. Authorities alleged that many of the workers were in the U.S. unlawfully, while others had entered legally but were violating their visa terms. The operation involved hundreds of federal officers, helicopters hovering above, and armored vehicles on site, with support from Georgia state agencies. Reports indicated that some workers attempted to evade detention by hiding in air ducts or jumping into a nearby pond. Stephen Schrank, special agent in charge for HSI in Georgia and Alabama, stated that the raid was intended to protect jobs for American and Georgian workers, emphasizing that the agency aimed to send a clear and unequivocal message that companies and individuals undermining U.S. labor laws would be held accountable. The fallout from the arrests quickly escalated into a diplomatic crisis between the U.S. and South Korea. President Lee Jae-myung of South Korea expressed deep concern over the incident, demanding an all-out effort to protect South Korean citizens. He stressed that the rights of nationals and the operations of Korean companies investing billions in the U.S. must not be infringed upon. In response, South Korea's Foreign Minister Cho Hyun convened an emergency meeting, conveying a heavy sense of responsibility regarding the incident and indicating his intention to travel to Washington for urgent discussions with the U.S. administration. The South Korean Foreign Ministry also criticized ICE's decision to release the video footage of the arrests, warning that such images could incite public anger. Meanwhile, both Hyundai Motor Group and LG Energy Solution quickly issued statements following the raid. Georgia officials, who had long championed the Hyundai LG project as transformative for the state's economy, expressed support for the federal action. Republican Governor Brian Kemp asserted that Georgia would always enforce the law, including all state and federal immigration laws. His office confirmed that the Georgia Department of Public Safety and the Georgia National Guard had provided assistance for the operation. Congressman Buddy Carter, a Republican whose district includes the Ellabe site, praised the enforcement action, stating that it demonstrated the U.S. government's commitment to prioritizing American workers. Reactions in Washington were sharply divided along party lines, with some lauding the enforcement action while others criticized it as detrimental to immigrant communities. The Hyundai Metaplant and LGS battery facility represent a monumental $12.6 billion investment, the largest in Georgia's history. The battery project alone is valued at approximately $4.3 billion and is anticipated to support Hyundai's expanding EV lineup in the U.S. However, the raid has raised concerns about whether such aggressive immigration enforcement could undermine foreign investor confidence. The timing of the arrests is particularly sensitive, given the delicate state of U.S.-South Korea relations. South Korean companies have committed over $350 billion in investments in the U.S., primarily in electric vehicles, batteries, and semiconductors. This incident risks creating friction at a time when both governments are striving for closer cooperation on trade, technology, and supply chains. Analysts caution that if the situation is not addressed, it could negatively impact investor confidence and complicate negotiations for future South Korean projects in the United States. The raid has also reignited the broader debate surrounding immigration enforcement and labor practices. Proponents argue that such actions are essential for protecting American jobs and ensuring fair labor standards. Critics contend that large-scale raids traumatize immigrant communities, disproportionately punish workers rather than employers, and disrupt key industries. Questions remain regarding employer accountability, particularly concerning how contractors and subcontractors at a high-profile, multi-billion-dollar project could hire such a significant number of workers allegedly without proper authorization. Both Hyundai and LGES now face mounting pressure to demonstrate compliance and transparency in their hiring practices. In a recent development, South Korea announced that more than 300 of the detained workers will be released and returned home. Presidential Chief of Staff Kang Hoon-sik confirmed that South Korea and the U.S. had finalized negotiations for the workers' release, with plans for a charter flight to bring them home as soon as administrative steps are completed. This situation continues to evolve, raising questions about the future of immigration policy and its implications for international business relations. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.